She is 93 years old and she has been through a lot. The Great Depression, the May 1 massacre, railroad accidents, coal mining accidents. As you can imagine, 93 years old, she's seen a lot.
A lot of bloodshed in this part of the world. Labor strife started here with the Baldwin-Felts May 1 massacre. It's the feuding that went on here, the remnants of the Civil War that carried on here for years later.
There were a lot of stories, even growing up, there were a lot of stories that I heard even as a child of people seeing ghosts, people seeing nurses, people seeing faces in the walls. There was even times that people said that he would hear things, like an evil spirit told him to jump. My name is Tanya Webb, and I'm one of the co-owners of the old hospital on College Hill. The hospital was actually built in 1928. I think she opened her doors for the first time on March the 3rd, so she is 93 years old. I was actually born in this hospital in 1973, and then I lost two grandparents that I never got to meet in the hospital, in this hospital. So when I was found out that the hospital was for sale, I just felt a connection to the building, other than the fact that the uniqueness and the structures and just the overall, I don't know, I just felt kind of like a draw to both this hospital and the nurses' college beside of it. I just felt like I needed to try to save her some of my history and some of the city's history, and really our county's history as well.
My name is Charlie Hatfield. I am a partner here as part of the owners of the old hospital on College Hill.
And you're also the mayor of the
I'm also, yeah, I'm sorry, forget that sometimes. I'm also the mayor. I was elected in 17 to be mayor of the city of Williamson, which I'm very proud and pleased to do. There's a lot we don't know, and I think there's a lot to be learned. You know, it's not just in the venue of paranormal. I mean, we learn things we never thought of as technology. I mean, look around you. You again, and those in this field with you, have brought a lot of technical equipment that I'm scratching my head about, and it does provide some empirical value, right? Factual value to you. Aside from the factual value, I have lived here all my life, and you know we have a lot of bloodshed from. I'm a Hatfield, so we got to have him McCoy fused, but we've had a lot of bloodshed in this part of the world. Labor strife started here with the Baldwin-Felts May 1 massacre. It's the feuding that went on here, the remnants of the Civil War that carried on here for years later. A lot of that here, and this being a hospital, and I know that's probably why a hospital is so attractive. It does see the tragedy of the human life experience with death and injury and so forth. At the same time, it sees the wonders of life with the birth of newborns. But I do believe, not to make it more sensational, I do believe there's more to learn, and there's some we'll never know.
there were a lot of stories around it, not only the historical side of it, because she is 93 years old and she has been through a lot: the Great Depression, the May 1 massacre, railroad accidents, coal mining accidents. As you can imagine, 93 years old, she's seen a lot. But you know, I'm kind of a history buff, but I'm also kind of into ghosts and paranormal and kind of creepy stuff, if you will. And there were a lot of stories, even growing up, there were a lot of stories that I heard even as a child of people seeing ghosts, people seeing nurses, people seeing faces in the walls, things like that. That always fascinated me. So I just kind of wanted to see for myself if any of that was true. And we kind of were able to pick some of that up. The first group that was here was Destination Fear from the Travel Channel, and they were here back last October. And that show aired in December, I believe, of last year, and they were able to pick up some stuff and tell us. And we opened up for paranormal tours and investigation in March of this year. So she's kind of fairly new to the paranormal world, but every group that's been here has captured something. So it really helps us with our research to find out who's here. You know, with a hospital, you have all the histories, and you have people that have passed away here. You have people that were born here. You have people that were really sick, ranging from different ages. And the unique thing about this hospital, I think, is it serviced so many people with so many different types of problems. This was one of the largest hospitals in the area. It served, I have a lot of people, that probably the number one question I get is, you know, did mental health patients, were they treated here, was lobotomies done to here, and those kind of things. But, you know, they didn't really have mental health facilities back in those days, so I would have to say yes. I think those people were brought here because they didn't know what else to do. The two biggest stories, I believe, that surround the building, the first one I would have to say is probably the nurse that never clocked out. She was the first one that we captured. And it was complete by accident. We did a few little tours back in 2018. It was our tourism group, and there was a young lady who had went through the tours, and she was exiting the building, and when she did, she went in between the hospital and the nurses college and just took her iPhone and took two quick pictures of, I think she was trying to capture the city of Williamson because it's a really pretty view in between those buildings at night. And she came running back straight to us as soon as she took those pictures, and she said, "Tanya, you have to see what I caught." And we flipped through her pictures, and the first picture, nothing there. The second picture was absolutely amazing. It looked like a nurse, probably from the 50s era. She's got her hair pulled back in a bun with a white dress on, a red sash, and she's entering the building on the first floor, which at that time, I think in the 50s and 60s, I think it was the emergency room, ICU, and things like that. The legend behind her was she was hurt in an automobile accident, and they brought her here. She was a nurse here, and she passed away here. So some believe that she never left. And there's still stories that you see her on different floors at different times of the year, different times of the day. So a lot of people talk about, they don't feel comfortable talking about it on camera, but they come and talk to us and share stories with us. But one of the most probably stories that we hear a lot is that when people were admitted on the third floor, which was maternity, she would come into the rooms and ask them if they were okay. And one of the ladies said that this nurse came into her room and asked her, you know, "You're not ready to have a child yet. You can go ahead and pack your stuff and leave because you've not dilated enough." So she said she proceeded to get out of the bed, was packing her stuff up, and as she was walking out, the nurse that was actually on the floor at the station asked her what she was doing to get back in her room, and she said, "Well, that other nurse told me that I wasn't in labor, I need to leave," and she said, "Honey, I'm the only nurse working tonight." So we've had stories like that over the years. So she's been very fascinating. We don't know who she is, we don't have a name, but she seems to come up a lot, and we have multiple people that tell us a lot about her. The second one is probably Mose Blackburn. We did a lot of research on him because he was all over the news as well as the newspapers. Back in 1962, he got into an altercation with his wife in a car in downtown Williamson, and I guess someone called law enforcement, and as the two city police officers approached the vehicle, Mose took a gun out and shot one of the city police officers and killed him right on the scene. So, of course, an altercation occurred. Mose was hurt, and he was brought to this hospital. What is not, I guess we're trying to find out and do more research, what's not real certain is he was put on the 3rd floor. We do know that, and we do know what room, but we don't know if he jumped or if he was trying to run or if someone threw him out the window. But in the newspapers, it said that there was a deputy that was stationed outside of his door at all times, and he had asked the deputy to go get a drink of water for him. So when the deputy left, he took off running and jumped out the 3rd story floor window, and didn't kill him. They went and got him and brought him back. And what's so weird about the story is that he was expected to make a full recovery. Like, he was expected to discharge and go into jail and take care of all of his charges. But he passed away almost a month to that day, and his death certificate's actually up on the 3rd floor. But when we got a copy of it, it labeled his death as something, I think it was like emphysema, a fractured rib, a broken leg, and things like that. So it really didn't make sense. It didn't add up. So a lot of people say that, you know, he was murdered. A lot of people think that he was thrown out the window. Some people think that he might have killed himself. We just don't really know, and that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. So he was mostly on the 3rd floor, so you might run into him. If you can find out anything more about him, we would love to know, but we're just not really sure what happened.
So what we have here is the NanoCom S made by Supernatural Inc. Shout out to Katie and Katie Stafford. We have our customized WVPI box here. So we're going to turn this on. We're going to walk around.
Is there any staff in the hospital right now who can?
That was a
They
clear,
found me or something?
clear woman.
I heard me at the end, I'm not sure.
I heard me at the end too.
Did you work here? Were you a nurse?
So I know if you've never seen this before, I don't ever claim to be psychic, but I've been on this for almost 15 years. And I have a certain feeling that I get when there's something around me. It's a pressure on my head. And as soon as I walked up here, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I haven't felt it all night since we've been here. So I really feel like there's something around me
Is
now.
the male spirit up here that Tanya's heard? Are you here with us?
In fact.
Or in fact?
In fact.
In fact. Thank you. Can you tell me
What
your
was
name?
that?
That sounded like a REM
It
pod.
sounded like a REM pod.
And we don't have one set up.
Exactly like a REM pod. We don't have one set up.
No.
That gave me full body cold chills. Pause.
Can you
It's
tell
really
me?
weird lingo to say in fact and then pause. Like that's
Can you?
definitely an older time verbiage.
Can you-
That was weird. This is weird.
Do you not? What's that? That's it. Can you hear me?
I just
What are you trying to tell us?
just got something tucked in the back of my shirt.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you just tug on John's shirt?
Like right here above the belt. It felt like somebody pulled out.
That's
on it.
weird.
There's nothing.
No, you weren't standing close enough to the wall.
Go get them?
Go get them.
Go get 'em.
Get them. Yeah.
That's what I thought I heard.
Please.
What?
Are they telling somebody to come after us, or are they
Somebody.
telling us to go after somebody? I heard that one.
That one?
What is it?
He jumped there.
He jumped there. Are we talking?
While this isn't what we heard at the time, it is still an incredible capture.
That one?
What is it?
He jumped there. Could this be one of the doctors giving some unfortunate news to a patient's family?
Are you telling us about Moe's? Blackburn?
That's on this floor,
This
right?
floor, yeah.
No, it's,
No, we're
it's
on the
not.
second floor. He jumped on the
jumped
floor.
Third.
What happened to Moe's Blackburn?
I heard he jumped and then another word. He jumped.
Do we need to go to where he jumped? I got cold chills, like I feel really shaky now. Like I have like goosebumps.
Yeah.
I definitely felt uneasy.
Mm-hmm.
How did Mose die? We know he jumped and he didn't die.
Lost it?
Lost it.
Do you feel like a cold air? I just felt like a cold air on my arm, but I don't know if it's a draft or there's like a cold, like I felt something cold on my arm, but I don't know, yeah, I don't know if it's like right here.
Really?
I felt it again as soon as we like walked over here, it just like hit me.
Are you here with us, Mose?
That pressure.
Your name gets used a lot, but nobody knows the real story. You can change that. You can set it straight if you just tell us what happened. Hi. Hello? Are we talking to somebody new? If you weren't with us downstairs, you can talk through this little box in my hand and we'll be able to hear your voice.
I just feel weird up here.
Brad?
It's Brad.
Brad, is that your name? Yeah, I got that pressure on my head.
I
really
just
bad
feel
right
like
now.
weird. Like I feel like a pressure on my chest and I just feel like everything's moving around me, but
Into the scene.
What's that mean?
And did we walk into like a busy hospital? Are you doing your job right now, or are we in your way? Do you want us to move? Should we go to the
I got that
visiting
cold
area?
air on my arm again that I just had down there. Like the same, just like cold breeze, like somebody brushed past you. That's what it feels like. You ever
It's
felt
hot
that?
in here.
I felt like super hot, so it's
Yeah.
weird that you would feel a
I
cold
felt
breeze.
like a cold breeze, like just brushed past my arm. If you're here, I want you to say hi or hello, so I know you're trying to communicate with me. Pause it?
Pause again.
It feels, like my arm feels
It's the
cold. I
second
just got
time it
chills.
said pause.
Do you want us to stop? Are you gonna try to make a noise or something? Like I have chills right now. Like, I feel like. If you have something you're trying to tell me, can you tell me again, please?
I'll explain.
Okay. Jump?
Jump.
Jump?
What was that?
I think so.
So then there's some speculation that Mose Blackburn saw something or had something influence him to jump off the window. That's also another theory.
We are in the basement at the old hospital in College Hill. I'm standing next to the incinerator. This is what they actually use for cremations. There's actually some leftover still from when it was in use. So we're going to use our DR60 recorder here, ask some questions, and see what kind of responses we can get. Did anything happen down here that wasn't supposed to? That was in this room.
That would sound like it came from the incinerator right
Yeah.
behind you.
Really? I
Oh,
thought
thanks.
Sorry, but it did sound like it came from there.
See, I thought it sounded like it was on the other side of.
Oh yeah, it's coming from in here.
That's fucking crazy.
Do you think
Birds?
it's air? Do you think
It's
the
gotta
air
be
flew?
air. Yeah, you can hear it shaking.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know.
creepy
I don't know
though.
if that's coming from that or not. Sounds like that
No.
4-wheeler revving outside. That 4-wheeler that drove by earlier, like
Let's,
boom.
we're gonna have to go check,
Boom.
otherwise this is gonna be pointless.
Yeah.
Cause listen,
It sounds like something rattling.
Moving in like a
Yeah.
barrel or something.
Yeah. Alright,
Yeah.
let's
That's
go,
what it sounds like
let's
to
go
me.
check this.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a four-wheeler to me.
oh, cause at first just hearing it, I thought maybe, but now like, I can't tell.
I know.
Like, let's stand up here and listen. I don't hear anything now.
Coming from the elevator shaft, maybe?
I think we would hear it louder here, because the doors are open.
I mean, maybe it was air cooling down, or there's a bat in there or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not, doesn't seem like it's outside. It sounds like something like rattling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It shouldn't pick up noises. Honestly. That's a whole sentence.
Yeah.
What's this say?
Let me hear that.
That was weird.
That is weird.
That is weird.
No one is listening. Well, I guess we'll go back in there.
If we hear that noise, it's gotta be something like in here that's like echoing down in the like chamber there.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta have a chimney.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If anything, there's airflow. It's just rattling.
Or it could be the cremated bodies of fucking how many ghosts, you
Trying
know?
to get out.
We're gonna do another, or ask some more questions and see if we can get some more answers. What should we be listening for? Are you trying to tell us something? Is there a better way for us to hear you? Stop.
Whoa!
Tell you something?
That's not what I heard.
I
You
can't
hear
really
it.
hear it from over here though.
Are you guys listening to what you're gonna say? We are listening and we are hearing your words coming through this device. So whatever you want to tell us now. Can you start by telling us your name? Did something bad happen to you? What was that?
I don't know.
Sounded weird.
No idea.
I don't know what it was.
Why do you not want us to know your name? Does that give us some kind of power by knowing that? If we don't need to know your name, what else can you tell us? Nothing wrong. Why won't you tell us your name? I don't understand. Can you explain, please? We all introduced ourselves earlier. If you can't tell us your name, can you tell us what you're doing here? Why you're still here?
There was something there.
From what I hear, I think it says Lansing.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I think it says, so what? I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just heard the first part. I didn't hear that in the last part, so I was just hearing like 2 syllables.
If you really do need help or you really do have a message, this is going to be your last chance. I'm going to do a couple more recordings and listen, so you really need to use all your energy and talk to us. Is there something that we can do for you? Yes or no? Do you like the people who are coming here to talk to you now? Are we going to be okay sleeping here tonight?
That's not a good question.
I know, I was like, why'd you ask that?
Alright, we are here at the hospital on College Hill. We're going to try a brand new experiment to Forgotten Relics. So Scott and Vanessa kind of know what's going on. Lindsay still has no idea, so this is brand new to her. So I am unleashing what I'm calling the Friday the 13th experiment. I know, right? Awesome. So what's going to happen is, for anybody, and I'm not the biggest horror aficionado, but what usually happens is everybody starts out in one group, and one by one people get killed off and left behind until there's only one left. So what's going to happen is we're all four going to start out together, either in the basement or on the 4th floor, and we're going to stay there for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then we're all going to draw out of a hat. One piece of paper is going to have a skull on it, or have a marking on it. That person, if they draw that, they get killed off and get left behind and have to stay in that location by themselves. So if you're the first one, you get to stay by yourself the longest. The next three will move to the next station. Somebody else after 10 to 15 minutes will do the drawing again. That person, whoever draws, they get killed off, they stay there until the last two are together. They'll do the same thing. Eventually everybody's going to be alone. But you get that first, killed off first, you're going to be by yourself the longest. Either on the 4th floor or in the basement, wherever we decide to start out at. So everybody's going to have a handheld camera. Everybody's going to have a stationary camera recording them. You will be completely alone after you get killed off. And we're going to try to keep it as minimal light as possible. So everybody will have IR. So we're going to try not to use any lights, or as little lights as possible.
No flashlights.
No flashlights. And we're going to see what's going to happen. We're hoping that us being by ourselves will trigger some kind of activity. Everybody's going to have a different piece of equipment. We haven't decided that yet. But eventually, we'll all be alone.
The no flashlight thing creeps me out. Like, I have to have, like, my flashlight to be, like.
You can have it, but we're going to try to use it as little as possible.
Like, only turn it on if you
So,
need it.
like, only 5 out of my 10 minutes.
No.
Like,
Like 0.
So the best thing you can hope for is that you're the last person to get killed off.
Yes. So we're going to get all of our cameras here set up in our specified points, and then we're going to go and we'll cut you guys in when we're back. Alright guys, we are now in the basement of the old hospital on College Hill. We have set up all of our stationary cameras for the Friday the 13th experiment. We've also set up certain pieces of equipment on every level, so whoever ends up there will have some different stuff to try out. Right now, we're going to start out, like I said, together, all four of us, investigate for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll do the drawing to see who gets killed off and gets to stay down here by themselves. So we're just going to do a quick flashlight session here. We haven't done that in a while. So we're going to set up 3 mag lights. What we want to do is see if we can get the spirits or whatever's here to interact with specific ones, so we know for sure that they're responding to our questions and not just randomly going on and off. So we're going to set that up, we're going to investigate for a little bit, and then we'll do the drawing and see who gets to stay.
Okay. For any of the spirits down here, we have some flashlights set up on the floor. They're not going to hurt you, they're not going to harm you. But if you, when we're down here asking questions, if you could come down here and try to turn the flashlights on, maybe touch it, try to turn the knobs on, even pick it up and throw it, just to let us know that you're here.
Oh, cat ball went off.
Cat balls went off. Ooh.
See?
How's my stomach?
The little ball that's in the floor, can you move it?
If you can light that up or touch one of the flashlights to let us know that you're here, that would be awesome. Is that you?
No.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Sounded like it was a pose.
Really?
Sounded thought he was like between me and you.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was right here.
We didn't mean to scare you if we startled you when we yelled or caught our attention. We were just excited to see that you understood how it worked.
Was that your room? You didn't want that there? You tried to kick it out of the way? Can you kick it?
If you can make a noise or light up one of those lights. We'd really like to communicate with you. Thank you.
Thank you. That was me, I'm sorry.
Okay.
If that's you, can you turn on one of the other lights beside it so we know? If you could light up a second light, it would really help us to be able to ask you some questions. That was a lot brighter. Thank you. Oh. You can turn that back on for us and we'll be able to ask you some questions. I know it takes a lot of energy. Can you light up one of those lights again, please?
Oh, they lit the cat
Oh, the
balls
cat
up.
ball.
Oh, thank you. Perfect.
Is it easier for you to use the cat balls?
And it's not really easy. It's just carpet. It's not, there's, it shouldn't just be moving like that.
No.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't think it was going to work. Just heard something behind me though. Yeah.
You were doing a really good job. Right now, guys, we are getting ready to draw for the Friday the 13th experiment. Our first stop is the basement, so whoever gets the sheet of paper with the skull and crossbones will be staying down here. The person down here is ultimately down here the longest amount of time. We've had a couple things with the flashlight go off, so hopefully we'll continue to have activity. So everybody want to draw? I think that's a confirmation. Okay, I drew one. I didn't look. I saw a light blink down there. At the very end of the hall, there was like a white light.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, you guys already drew, so if none of you have it, then obviously I get to.
Alrighty.
Okay, so Vanessa, you go first. If it's a circle, she's safe. It's a skull.
Circle.
Ooh.
It's not me. Oh, it's Scott.
Damn.
Alright, I'm just gonna.
So Scott is going to be, he's the one who just got killed off in the experiment, so he is the first one. He's going to be staying down. There's a super weird fuck was that?
Was it a light anomaly?
Yeah.
You saw it at the end of the hallway? Like
No, it went right into Scott.
Nuh-uh.
I swear on my life.
Oh fuck, man, I'm got goosebumps.
It went up, it went circled around, and then went right into you. Holy shit! I thought it was like a lens.
You got it on.
Yeah, I thought it was a lens flare from one of the IR lights, but I watched it and it went right into
Dude,
you.
I've got such bad goosebumps right now.
Dude, that's crazy.
If that's you,
Like it wasn't like dust. It wasn't circular.
can you light that flashlight up as bright as you can and keep it on?
The hair on the end of my arms is
If
just
that was you.
standing on end.
No.
So he is the first one. He's gonna be staying down. There's a super weird. What the fuck was that?
Was it a light anomaly?
Yeah. It was really freaking weird.
Oh man.
Like I watched it happen. Like
It
that's
was
why
like
I
a
was
light?
stumbling over my words because I was watching it happen. It was super weird.
You
You'll
did that
have
on
to
purpose
show
to
us.
scare me.
I swear on my life, I did not. I watched it happen when I was explaining to you were staying down here.
I've got to see it now when we're done.
That was freaking weird. All right, well, to finish that thought, Scott is the first one to get killed off in the Friday the 13th experiment. He was calling a shot earlier before we started filming. He said he wanted to be down in the basement.
Well, I did.
So now he got what he wanted. It's going to be cool down here, but he's also going to be all alone. We're leaving the flashlights and the cat balls down here in the hallway. He also has a digital voice recorder if he wants to do EVPs.
And an EDI.
And an EDI. There's the flashlight going on and off again. So myself, Vanessa, and Lindsay are going to go up to, we're going to skip the first level. We're going to go to level 2. And we're going to do a little investigating before we do our next drawing. So say goodbye to Scott. He's officially killed off. All right, we are now on the second floor. Myself, Vanessa, and Lindsay. Scott has been killed off. He's in the basement. Excuse me. So we're going to do a little investigating here before we do another drawing and see who's the second one killed off and gets to stay here on the second floor by themselves. So we have the K2 here, which is a device that reads electromagnetic fields. If we can get a spike that can't be explained, that could be potentially something trying to interact with us. We also have an SB7, the new SB7 spirit box, so we can do a little bit of that, and it also has a temperature gauge as well. Is there anybody up here with us right now that would be able to come and communicate with us?
Weird light anomaly. Oh, it's dark. It is freaking dark down there.
Somebody was talking to us earlier when we were on this floor when we did the walkthrough. Was that you?
My nerves are like at a 10 right now.
Can you come up and touch the device that Vanessa has in her hand and make it light up?
It spiked a little.
Did it?
You've been listening to us, and you already know what's going on. Need you to turn the lights on, just like you did. That's a very good job. Thank you. But I need you to turn it off. Thank you. Oh. Turn it all the way off. Turn it off and make it stay off. Can you do that? If you understand me, thank you. Now this time, I want you to turn the other flashlight on. Can you do that? And any time you can go try to roll one of those balls. If you roll light up? Oh, that's the other flashlight I asked you to light up. Thank you. Good job. Now this time, I want you to turn the flashlight on the right. Can you do that for me, if you understand what I'm saying? The flashlight that's all the way on my right. Thank you. It's a good job. Now, can you turn it all the way off? Ooh, I just heard a noise. Wow, that's bright. Turn it all the way off. Just turn it off. Can you do that?
If you come up and touch it, try to move it, knock it over, whatever you want to do, you can make the light change from green all the way up to orange. That was Scott, wasn't it? You can make the light change from green all the way up to orange. That was Scott, wasn't it?
Sounded like, or
I thought it was a dog.
that was
but-
not.
No, that was
It was
not
in
a
the
dog.
building.
That sounded like Scott yelling for help.
I thought it was Scott
I
yelling
thought I
for
saw
help.
a shadow down here in this red
Really?
light. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do we want to ask him if he's okay? Maybe interrupt.
I seriously thought I heard it Scott say help.
I heard something.
But you know, this is the second floor. This is where Tanya said she heard a guy yell for help.
I was on the second floor and I walked by a room and it was just, I felt like he was standing right beside of me and all I heard was hey.
I was definitely a guy.
2 times, and the other group heard it too.
That was loud.
It sounded like help.
Yeah. That wasn't a dog.
It wasn't a dog.
Something weird. Maybe it's just light play. Got goosebumps. What is that? I just saw something like right in the middle of the screen. Can you make a loud noise down here in the basement? Guys, I don't know, like, it's hard to explain how dark it is down that hallway when the lights on the flashlights aren't going off, so.
Sorry we reacted so. Just whatever. Sorry we reacted so fast. We were just surprised. That's exactly what we want you to do. We want to be able to hear you. We were just a little surprised. Can you come up and turn this light on or make this light go up to orange? I feel like I'm drunk.
I feel really like
Like,
Like my body is shaking. Like I don't feel scared, but like my body is
I just feel like I'm in a fog. Like I can't get my words together. I feel like I'm obviously not drunk. I didn't drink anything. I just feel weird. I feel way off.
I feel uncomfortable.
I don't know. I can't get my thoughts right. Like I'm
Are you okay?
stammering. I don't know. I feel weird.
If you're messing with him, can you tell us by lighting that light up? If that's your way of trying to communicate?
That's me. I don't know. I just feel off. I feel
I
right.
definitely feel different on this floor than I did earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Are you ready to draw?
It's only been a couple minutes.
Really? Like, time is just weird.
Yeah, like I feel like I was thinking the same thing. Like we've been up here for a while.
Wait, what time?
we're supposed to draw?
We left him at like 11:30, so it should be
Are you
like
serious?
11:40.
It's 11:46.
Yeah, so.
I feel like we've been up here for 2 minutes. Like I thought it was gonna be like
Are you
11:35.
sure you're gonna be okay?
I don't know. I feel like really
Confused.
weird. Yeah. Like I feel like I just lost 10 minutes.
Like I'm not comfortable leaving you if you're like doing that.
No, I'm fine.
I know, but like what I'm saying is if you're alone and you're like
That was
lose track of
weird.
time or something like that, like
I honestly thought it was gonna be like 11:35. Like 11. Like did not feel like 15 minutes.
it definitely
all.
has been.
Like
I just felt that cold air
I feel like we just walked up here.
on my arm again. Just felt the exact same thing I've been feeling.
We're gonna do drawing number 2. Whoever gets the skull and crossbones again is gonna be killed off and get to stay here by themselves, where we've been having all kinds of weird stuff happen, which I still can't
I
really
don't
wrap my
feel
head
right.
around.
Like, and I'm not even just that. I'm scared.
I feel very shaky.
I
like,
feel
I don't,
very afraid to leave anybody. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Like, I don't feel comfortable leaving anybody on this floor, to be honest.
Alright, well, Lindsay gets the third paper, so.
Yeah,
It's me. It's me.
Alright, well,
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm okay with that. Like, I know I have to be, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know.
okay.
No, I don't know. I legit don't know if I can do this. Like, I want to. Like, I want to really bad, but at the same time, like, this is the floor that all the shit has been happening on. Like, she literally sat there and told us, like, yeah, every investigation, this is where people have been having stuff happen. And like,
Just try it. If you get too overwhelmed, call us on the radio.
I know, but like, it's just sitting here in pitch black that freaks me out.
You have the light of your camera screen.
That doesn't help because then I look up and my eyes are like, boo. So like,
You have a flashlight if you have to.
I'm gonna have to do the SB7, but
Alright, wish Vanessa luck. Alright, so Lindsay and I are the last 2 survivors. We are here on the 3rd floor. This is the window from the story about Mose Blackburn. Either he jumped or got pushed or fell. Not really sure. His death certificate's actually there on the wall. We have the millimeter with the REM technology at the end of the hall under the mirror, or under the window, excuse me. So if something touches it, it'll light up and go off. We also have the obelisk here. The obelisk has a word bank that the spirit can go in and choose a response. So,
Is there anything that I could do for you? Any way that you could tell me that you're here? What the fuck was that noise? Any way that you could tell me that you're here? What the fuck was that noise? That was a fucking weird freaking scream, girl cry noise. That, oh god, I hope that was one of these cameras. What the fuck was that? You were playing with the cat balls earlier. Can't you light one of those up again?
just me. Alright, if anyone's here, I'm not here to hurt you. I would appreciate if you try to be nice to me as well. I have the spirit box here I'm going to try to use. And you can use it to communicate with me. Okay. I'm gonna turn the spirit box on.
A little uneasy knowing that there's two, what are these, the x-ray rooms here behind me. And then, of course, there's a room right fucking behind me. And it always makes you feel weird whenever you're, there's freaking crutches in there. Always makes you feel weird sitting right in front of a open doorway. Always feel like something's going to come up behind you. Are those your crutches?
Guys, I think I just saw someone walking in the hallway.
What hallway?
Second floor, after JJ and Lindsay just left, down by the red light. Yeah, somebody, moved across the hallway. It was like shortly after you guys left.
We're checking it out.
And then it came through on the spirit box and it sounded like it said, "It was me."
There's no way anybody.
What?
Oh, that was me. There's nobody down here, Vanessa.
It was like that first room or that front room right there.
Right here?
Yeah, right in there somewhere. Across to the left. They moved from right to left.
That's a closed door, and that's that's a closet. There's not even a room there.
That's what I saw.
There's no, I mean, it's definitely not a human person for sure.
I don't know. I don't think I could catch it from this, but that camera might have caught it. Is there anyone up here right now who wants to talk to me?
Might be able to let me talk to you. Did you say get out? Do you know where you're at? Help her? Oh, the cat balls went off. It hasn't went off for a while. Was that you that set off the little ball on the floor?
And this is most of the room right here, right?
Yeah.
There's for sure a knock behind me. Is that you, Mose? There's a dog bark. Oh, that's Vanessa. You can hear her just a little bit. What the fuck is that?
That sounds like somebody trying to break in. Did it not?
Yeah.
Like somebody trying to jiggle something.
There's a car out there. This is nuts. I don't see anybody now. I'm not gonna go out and walk around.
No, I'm not like gonna go.
We're locked in. Nobody's messing with our car or anything.
Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me go into the place. I'll look around for you.
Okay.
Out back or something.
That's the only place they could be.
Okay.
Because you thought you heard the front door jiggle and you saw two people get out of the
Yeah,
car.
we heard like a jiggling. We heard a jiggling noise, and we looked out the window. We saw the car.
Oh, does somebody want to go with him?
Yeah.
You didn't see anything?
Well, we walked all the way. Our legs are chilling. Big old roof.
Looking back at our experience at the old hospital on College Hill, I really think that this location taught me a lot about myself.
It was an awesome location. Driving up, we knew right away that it was going to be a heck of a night, and it was.
From when we very first arrived at College Hill, we were blown away. The drive up that hill and just seeing this monument emerge was an incredible experience.
Definitely one of the coolest places I've investigated. I've not ever investigated a hospital before, so that was really interesting, and the history was really great, really rich.
Started investigating, and all was going really well. Started doing some experiments. We did the Friday the 13th experiment that JJ came up with, and it was really fun. It started out fun anyways.
The Friday the 13th experiment I did come up with, and I think it's a way to push not only the group but myself as well. I think it's a good way to separate ourselves and see what kind of evidence we can capture when we're alone.
I was terrified to do the Friday the 13th experiment. I was terrified to get the basement, but then I was happy when I didn't get the basement.
They left me in the basement, and actually was having some really good activity in the basement. They moved on. The rest of the group moved on to the other floors.
We first got on the second floor after leaving Scott in the basement. I think we all kind of felt a little different than we had earlier. I know that there were lots of reports of activity up there that we had heard about, but something just felt kind of off. And I think for me, what really made me most nervous was JJ got kind of affected up there. He kind of lost track of time, which really made me have some anxiety for the drawing up there. I was like, whoever gets left alone up here is potentially, losing track of time or experiencing things in a way that you wouldn't normally.
We captured a very, very clear disembodied voice asking for help on the second floor.
So that gave me a whole other level of anxiety. And when we drew from the bag and it was me, I immediately, became panicked. I didn't want to be left there at all. I just had a really bad feeling about it. But they left me anyway, obviously.
Then, as it went on, as the groups moved up the levels of the hospital, I think we heard some noises and saw some lights, and the fear took in. Only we weren't really fearful of the ghosts as much as the people that we thought were breaking in.
It was very shocking to have an experience like that where you think somebody's coming into the building and not knowing who you're going to run into or what you're going to have happen.
We thought somebody was breaking in, and it taught me that there's more to fear than besides the paranormal.
We had heard a loud bang. We had thought that somebody was trying to get in through the front door. As we go back, and I'll put the clip in here, you will see that a car does pull up into the parking lot, and the sound that we thought was the door being rattled was actually the car doors closing. Is that you, Mose? The dog bark. Oh, that's Vanessa. You can hear her just a little bit. fuck is
That sounds like somebody trying to break in. Did it not?
Yeah.
I don't honestly think that anyone was trying to break into the hospital. I think it was just we let the fear of that take hold and get to us. I really do think that's what happened. So
That fear took over for me.
We heard the noise that we thought was somebody possibly breaking in. There was a car out there, so I don't think our concerns were completely unfounded. I do think that we let the fear and anxiety get the best of ourselves. But when you're in a location like that, like I said, is somewhat secluded, and you do have to sleep there after you're done investigating, you definitely want to be cautious.
we had to kind of step away from it and pause our Friday the 13th experiment and check to see, make sure that nobody really truly was breaking in. And like I said, I don't think that was the case. I don't think anybody was breaking into the hospital. But for safety's sake, we called up Charlie, and he came out and he assured us we checked around the area. He even called the authorities and checked around the area, and there was nobody there.
When Charlie and I did the walk around, we walked around the entire property to make sure nobody was there. We didn't find anything, but there was a vehicle in the parking lot that wasn't ours. So the cops did come and check on that, and by the time we got up in the morning, the vehicle was gone and the cops had cleared it. So again, we don't think it was anything that anybody was trying to get in. It was just a combination of our anxiety and everything going on with the investigation, and then you add that on top of it, we just let it get carried away in our minds.
We want to thank everyone from the hospital on College Hill, Tanya and Charlie, for going out of your way to make sure we had everything we needed, that we were safely locked in the building with no one able to get in.
Huge thank you to Tanya and Charlie for taking care of us, making sure that we were okay, making sure that we were safe.
But he made us feel safe, and that was important. So
And they were very helpful in that situation and got there as quickly as they could and made sure that everything was good to go for the rest of the night. And we really appreciate that and everything that they do.
I want to say a big thank you to Tanya and Charlie from the old hospital on College Hill for having us out. They were incredibly gracious and they did a phenomenal job.
we do appreciate Charlie and Tanya at the old hospital on College Hill. It's a great place. Any investigator should check it out.